Hi, this is Karen, and I am here to show you how to create a stakeholder page and some of the features that come along with it for either sharing internally for internal collaboration or for sharing with others or with the public. All right, so to get started, you need to have a bill sheet already created that has the bills on it that you want to share. So I've got this 2020 census bill sheet, and that's the one I think I'm going to use. All right, so you can, of course, share it as this little list, or you can create this map and put this on your website. But if that's not what you want to do, if you want to share this entire grid, including any extra columns you have created with your own notes, then you need a stakeholder page. All right, so I'm going to go to the stakeholder page tab, and I've got the stakeholder page button. And all subscriptions come with stakeholder pages, so you should have a new stakeholder page button too. All right. So I am going to choose which bill sheet I want to use, and then I need to give it a name. So how about Census Legislation 2020? Great. And now I can put a subtitle on there, maybe some advice or explanation of what you want people to do with this or why you're sharing it. Put your company name on it so that people can see if you share it with them and it's in their account, they'll be able to see where it came from. And then, most importantly, pick the grid you want to use. So this is where you get to pick which columns you want to share. So, for example, I have this analysis template that I use when I am looking at bills to decide if they're relevant, and it's got tons and tons of columns. But that might be too much for my website. Especially if I'm sharing with the public, that might be a bit overwhelming. So you can create a template just for your stakeholder pages that maybe is a subset of those columns. That includes the basic information you're wanting to share, but not any internal comments. But if you do have calls to action, then you can add a column for that and have links there for what you want people to go do. All right, so that is choosing the right template. To create a template, that's up here under Manage Templates, and I will put a link to a whole tutorial for creating templates in the comment part of this video. All right, so that is choosing the template. All right, so then this section is where we can say who is allowed to see the bill sheet. So the stakeholder page is the grid with the bills like we just looked at, but also if you just share it internally, you also get this discussion forum. So you can invite other people in to see this, and then they can create comments and discuss the bill. They can copy and paste bits of the bill in here and then mark it up, or they can put whatever comments they want to have. Or if you're having a legislative policy committee meeting, somebody could take some notes and stick them right here into the stakeholder page. But that way, everybody who you've invited gets to see the bills and can click on the bill and see the current status anytime and any comments you've chosen to share with them in the grid. And then they can discuss what needs to be discussed down here, and only people that you have granted access to can see it. So very much meant for internal collaboration. Now, if somebody changes their status and you no longer want them to have access to the bill, to the stakeholder page, no problem. You could always just go back in here and remove their access. All right, easy as that. Now, the other thing you can do is say, let me know when somebody makes a post. And so that way you'll always know when people are putting comments onto the stakeholder page, and then you can go in and you can actually hide them if appropriate. So you do have the ability to curate what's going on your stakeholder page. All right, but let's say you want to share it with the public and not just internally. So if you check that, it will only share the grid part. It will not share the forum part, which is, your internal stuff. So this will just share a public part. And if you would be more comfortable, you could always create a second stakeholder page that is meant entirely for the public so that there's no question. All right. After you check this button, you're going to need to save to make this work. But you get these links. So this is a link just to the whole stakeholder page like we've been looking to it. Or this link actually creates a embedded version that you can use that doesn't have any BillTrack50 stuff on it. So it doesn't have our logo on it. It doesn't have the BillTrack50 header at the footer at the bottom. So it's just the grid, and that is all. Now, this still has tools so that people could filter and look at a map of these bills. So that's still available to anyone using the tool, or they could sort by whatever column just by clicking on it. stuff like that. So it's still active and interactive, and they can click on the bills and read it, but it's just going to be this grid. All right. So that is what you get from that link. All right. And then you can also use this little bit of code to embed this on your website. So if you want to, you can actually share it either as a link, which is great for Facebook or Twitter or putting in a newsletter, or you can actually embed it on your website so that when people come, they just see the grid right there along with your comments and any other information you have chosen to share, but not the discussion forum. So just the grid and any columns that you have put into your template. So that is how you make it public. And then we also have this option, share the stakeholder page with mobile users. So if you grab the BillTrack50 app, either from the App Store or from Google Play, then it's completely free. It doesn't have any advertisements in there or anything like that. We don't bug you for reviews, so you can definitely share it with your members with confidence. And then you give them this little code, and they type the 6 letters in, and they have access to this list of bills. They can even turn on alerts, so they get alerts to their phone when the bills get voted on or when they move. And if you want, you can create a QR code that they can scan. So you can just put that right on your website. And their instructions for doing that are here in this post here. So you can either type in the letters or scan. Obviously, the scan isn't that helpful. It just types in the letters for you, but it's kind of fun. So that could be a good way to kind of get engagement going, or a nice benefit for members to be able to get alerts on certain topics right to their phone. All right. So that is how you would share this list of bills through the app. All right. So you can turn that on. So that is what a stakeholder page is for, and how you might use it, how you create it. So I hope that you find them useful. Thanks.